Yeah, you feel me? So, and with that being said, it's like Scorpio ruling over the lower animalistic natures of man. It's like Scorpio is also a sign, that's although animalistic, it also can express through higher channels of like um, spiritual ability. You feel me? And that has a lot to do with the law of rhythm. You feel me? It's like because Scorpios can go through the lowest of energies and get really dense. You feel me? It's like when the pendulum swings to the other side. But it's not even the pendulum swinging to the other side, but it's just like through those experiences of trials, tribulations, and hardships, you feel me? It's like their capacity for understanding life is expanded. But then, let's not talk too much about Scorpio, because in order for me to explain why Scorpio is also associated with the animalistic aspects, but also the spiritual aspects, it'd be a lot. But to put it in simple terms, you know, Scorpio is a sign that deals with intensity, and Scorpio's core ruling planet Pluto. You know, when we are talking of the tree of life, you feel what I'm saying. And as a Sagittarius, you most definitely should look into the tree of life. You feel what I'm saying, and gain an understanding of it from the perspective of like the orbs. You feel me? The astrological interpretation of the tree of life. You feel me? Like you would definitely benefit from learning what that is. But yeah, Pluto is the one that's at the top. It's the highest planet, with Earth being the lowest planet. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, so the sun is just leaving Scorpio. And so when it goes into Sagittarius, it has lightened its load. We can even say it's no longer in, that Halloween season, right? Because that's when Scorpio. I mean, Halloween season is in Scorpio, but it goes into a space where it's like engaged even in Thanksgiving, because I forget if Thanksgiving is Sagittarius or Scorpio, but I think it's Sagittarius. But there is a possibility of it being Scorpio. But anyways, yeah, so within Sagittarius there is also that polarity. And it's interesting how I'm talking about polarity. Like a lot of the words I'm portraying are like being channeled or intuitive, because it's like, well, or subconscious, I think is the best way to put it, because subconsciously I'm speaking on the fact that you have like your sun and your moon opposing each other, but then you have that Libra energy which also plays as opposing forces. You know what I'm saying? All right, but yeah, that is Sagittarius. And so with your sun being in the third house, your sun being in Sagittarius within the third house, it's an indication that you are naturally a student of life. You feel me? And so these energies can be polarized, because see, Sagittarius has the desire to want to teach and like illuminate others. You feel me? But then it's like the third house. It's all about education and learning. You feel me? So there may be this energy where it's like you may have a desire to want to teach, but it's like before you can do that, truly you have to get into a space where you have educated yourself and where you have learned your materials, and and of course the information worth getting into study would have to deal with religious scriptures and things like that, but just information dealing with higher knowledge. You feel me? Like Sagittarius, as you may know, also deals with like universities and like colleges. You feel me? But just philosophy in general. So also the third house, being associated with Gemini, it rules the environment, but it not only rules the physical environment, it also rules the mental environment, because it is known that, the mental environment projects itself into the external environment, and the external environment is but a reflection of the mental. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, that's why the third house is also it's unison, or it's unison to both the internal environment and the external environment, because they're actually one and the same. So with that being said, with you having this third house energy, you would tremendously benefit from becoming more acquainted and aware of your mental environment. You feel me? Because what the sun does is it vitalizes and it makes things of importance. You feel me? And so with the sun being the third house, your ability to communicate becomes important. But not only communicate with others, but also communicate with yourself. And then with that being said, with you having that sun moon of opposition, there there does arise a polarity between um like it's a lot, but in one way I can put it is between the future and the past, in the sense that the moon deals with our comfort, our comfort zone, and our comfort zone stems from our past, right? What we are comfortable with is what we are familiar with, and our familiarities deal with time and deal with the past. But then the sun deals with the ego and its ambitions, you feel me? So, and our ambitions more deal with our future. So there is a polarity there. But yeah, alright, so I'm gonna close up talking about the sun and let's get into the moon. Alright, so yeah, that's pretty much your sun though. Now let's get into your moon. So with your moon being in hold on, give me a sec, I'm thinking. Your moon is in Gemini and it's in the decan of fidelity, but what house? So with your moon being in Gemini, so the moon, whereas the sun signifies the ego and the energies that you express outwardly into the world, which in this case it's a energy that deals with like freedom of expression ultimately. It's like one thing about the Sagittarius energy is being the last sign, they are of the world, they are down to interact with the world. But yeah, so let me articulate it this way. It's like the Sagittarius energy, they like people to the extent of people enforcing their beliefs upon others. They enjoy being around people, but then they stop enjoying being around people when people try to put them in a box and confine them. They want to express their own beliefs and their own perceptions, and when they start to feel caged is when a Sagittarius will typically cut someone off. Interesting, your moon is in the 9th house. I have to check that. But yeah, so anyways, that's the sun, you feel me? Now the moon, it deals with the inner realm. So the sun deals with the external realm and how you channel outwardly. But then the moon deals with the inner realm, right? And so with your moon being in an air sign, being in Gemini, what this means is that with it being in Gemini, first and foremost, meditation is going to become of great importance, and definitely get into a habit of meditating. You see, because and Sagittarius will benefit from this as well. And with the sun in Sagittarius, you want to definitely incorporate visual meditations. Meditations that assist you in strengthening your imagination and utilizing your imagination even, because the fire signs, they deal with visualizations. But it's like, see, Gemini, it's mutable air, so it's scattered air, you feel me? And so, and Sagittarius is also mutable fire, so it's scattered action, scattered ambitions and inspirations, whereas Gemini may have the tendency and a desire to want to think all the many different thoughts, study all the different books, all the different subjects. Sagittarius wants to do all the different ambitions it is drawn towards, and being mutable, Sagittarius does like variety, you feel me? And so there is definitely a polarization here. And simply because it's also Gemini and Sagittarius, but just then, but like Sagittarius less than Gemini, but Gemini in of itself in general is a sign that deals with duality, and it deals with unifying dualities. But then so is Libra, but Libra is like unifying duality from a perspective of balancing, But then Cause so Gemini is the third sign, you feel me? And so it's like esoteric math, right? One in When we're speaking of esoteric math, 1 plus 1 does not equal 3. I mean, my bad. 1 plus 1 does not equal 2, but 1 plus 1 equals 3. You feel what I'm saying? When one opposing force and the other opposing force come together, they create a whole new third energy. You feel what I'm saying? And now all of a sudden there's 3 of them. But anyways, and so that's what Gemini is all about. You feel me? That polarization, that polarity between the two energies, between the two dualities. And so yeah, learning to bring balance and harmony to your mind. You feel me? Learning to neutralize your mind and learning to be calm mentally would be of great benefit and advantage for you being a moon in Gemini. You feel what I'm saying? With the moon in Gemini energy, it expresses an individual that's highly intellectual, because Gemini is the sign of intellect, but it also expresses an individual who may not profit from their intellect because it's sporadic, and it's eccentric, meaning it's not practical, but it's like all over the place. And with Gemini being the sign of thought, you feel me? It's like they just enjoy thinking for the sake of thinking, you feel me? But then that can be negative and destructive, and it's like with Gemini, thoughts multiply really, 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 really quickly. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's mutable, meaning spread out. Thought. But on top of that, the mutable signs are liquid. So there is this very moldable ability that comes with Gemini in thinking, especially. And it's like with this energy, you have to be conscientious of your environment, because a lot of the times you get tuned or you build rapport with like the energies of your environment, and if they're negative, then you internally become negative, but if they're positive, then you become positive. So in Naruto, I don't know if you know what Naruto is, but so in Naruto, there's like this character, and he's like Naruto sensei, and he has this power to copy. He can tune into like an opponent's energy and copy them. You feel me? And that's very much the Gemini energy. We're very much copycats. You feel me? And we can mirror. And so it's important that you don't get so pulled into the mirroring energy that it's just toxic. You feel what I'm saying? Now, the moon, it deals with how one nurtures oneself. And so Gemini deals with logic. And so negatively, when the moon goes into air signs, it would rather be in a water sign, you feel me, than an air sign, you feel me. But it does better in it does okay in air signs, but the struggle here, when it's in Gemini and Virgo, when it's in the signs of Mercury, because the moon's resonance and Mercury's resonance. Mercury is logic. The moon is emotion. You feel me? So they don't really merge like that. And so with that being said, when the moon is in the sign of Mercury, whether it's Gemini or Virgo, it's not in a place where it wants to feel and experience its emotion, and process its emotion, but it's more in a place where it wants to rationalize, understand, and think its emotions. You feel me? And so with that being said, that can be toxic, and it can be negative, because it's like we can always rationalize our emotions away. You feel me? We can always rationalize our emotions away, but it's like in reality, when emotions come up, they're like discordant energies within us that we need to confront and face, because if we allow that discordant energy within us, then it's going to find different ways to manifest in the life. But once we harmonize it inside of us, then it's going to express outwardly harmoniously as well. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, one other thing I would say is that Gemini is a sign that in esoteric astrology, it's a conduit, it's a channel, you feel me? And it has an ability to channel information from higher forces. And so, with the moon being here, and the moon being the planet of instinct and impulse also, do allow yourself to practice following your intuition, you feel me? You don't have your moon in the deacon of intuition, because Gemini, the first deacon of Gemini, is the deacon of intuition. Then the second deacon of Gemini is the deacon of fidelity, right? And then the last deacon of Gemini is the deacon of reason. You feel me? But it's like, as a Gemini, you have access to all these deacons, but you being born in the middle, which is the deacon of fidelity, it's like your channels of thought express more towards engaging in conversation with others over anything else. You feel what I'm saying? That's the that's the Gemini energy. And so the sun and the moon opposing each other. You feel me? This type of energy produces an energy where it's like you may find yourself struggling when it comes to the expression of your inner self to your outer self. But to make it more eloquent, because what the heck does that even mean? This opposition between the sun and the moon can produce discordant energies when it comes to the way that you find yourself relating with others. This, you feel what I'm saying? In the sense that the moon deals with your emotions and the things that you want, how you can be nourished. But then the sun deals with your ego, you feel me? And so the sun is like ego ambition, and it's like not thinking that it's appropriate for you to be emotional and not look like you got your ish together. And so even from that, it may create and produce this discordant energy that expresses out in the way that you react and respond with other people, where it's like you may not be able to fully bring your inner world out, or your true inner intentions out into the world for people to pick up on and then assist you accordingly. So it's like, with this opposition, you may walk around with a certain emotion, a certain desire, but then it's like a certain intention even, but it's like when you express it, it's different. You feel me? Like, people don't pick up on it, and so people like can misconstrue your energy even with this sun moon opposition. You feel what I'm saying? Like with this sun moon opposition energy, it's ultimately about learning to unify the dualities between your inner child, your inner needs, versus your external identity and your ego and what the world, in a sense, wants you to be, or what you've told the world that you are. How you yourself have molded yourself, but how you've allowed the world to mold you into the individual that you are today. Like, that energy may be in opposition with the energy of your inner child. You feel me? With the sun moon opposition. Yeah, but so now let's look into like some more things. Yeah, I already talked about your sun, I talked about your moon. So yeah, like also with the sun being in Gemini, with the moon being in Gemini, the means of nourishment that is channeled towards you is when you are assimilating knowledge, assimilating information. You may find great emotional nourishment and fulfillment through studying, through learning. You feel what I'm saying? Through studying and learning and educating yourself, engaging in communications, building, having friends, and things like that. But with the moon being in the 9th house, like I said earlier with the Sagittarius, again, your belief system, your paradigm, your religious perceptions are very important. And those are the things that you want to be cultivating. You want to be cultivating your comprehension of, like, the universe, like universal laws, who you are, So like getting into astrology is very good for that. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, and so let's also look at some other things. So, all right, now, last but not least, your ascendant. So your ascendant is in Libra. So the ascendant signifies the self, you feel me? It signifies the ego as well. Like the sun and the ascendant both deal with the individual, the individuality, the ego, the persona, the personality. And so with your ascendant being in Libra, personally, you're a sort of person who is very selfless. And this can even express as you being a people pleaser and having a desire to want to be accepted by others, you feel me, to a point of compromising, you feel me, where it's like a point of compromising the self, where it's like it's a disservice to you, because you may, okay, so it's like the energy of Aries is supposed to be here, but instead the opposite sign to Aries, Libra, is here, you feel what I'm saying? And so Libra deals with the partners. It's the sign of marriage, you feel me? It's all about relations. But then it's like Sagittarius, my bad. But then it's like Aries deals with the individual, the I, the me. It's like being selfish, being egotistical, being self-driven, and being like, I don't care what you guys say or think. I know me, and I'm gonna follow the beat of my own drum. You feel me? That's Aries energy. Then Libra energy is like, oh, okay, like if it makes you comfortable, like I won't do it. Like they in a sense get into a space where they're like, they want to make sure that everyone is good and okay, even to a fault of emptying out their cup, attempting to fill another person's cup up. You feel what I'm saying? And so, like, the positive aspect of this energy is that, well, the overall energy of this energy, well, I'll say positive because I already was going to talk about it. The positive aspect of this energy is that you can be a sort of person who can bring, like make another person feel good. You feel what I'm saying? And with this placement, it can be an indication of having great people skills and having an ability to, just make people feel good about engaging and communicating with you. You feel me? But then negatively, Libra is a sign of balance, and so it's an indication that you're on a path to finding equilibrium and learning how to balance yourself, and that the ascendant signifies how we can elevate and evolve. You feel me? And so through the means in which you successfully allow yourself to find equilibrium and balance in your life will dictate your ability to evolve as a soul, even, and reach higher heights. So balance and equilibrium becomes of great importance. Now you also have your ascendant trining, your ascendant squaring Mercury. You feel me? So with your ascendant squaring your Mercury, this is like a sort of polarity between your ability to employ your logical and strategic abilities to improve your personal life. You feel me? And this can even be portrayed through like you allowing other people to think for you, and like not allowing yourself to take that thought and be like, nah, you know what, I'm gonna call the shots. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, I hope that makes sense. You feel me? Having even having thoughts that may be, because your Mercury is in Capricorn, and Capricorn it's those heavy thoughts, because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Heavy thoughts that may deal with doubt, that may deal with fear, that deal with doubt and fear. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's like, see, Saturn deals with safety. It rules in a mental alchemy, safety thoughts. You feel what I'm saying? And so our ambitions and our drives, depending on what sign you are and which influence, like if you're the sun, then it's all about power and self-significance and value. And so like a Leo being like, I will do it. But then Capricorn, it's more like being diplomatic and even being deceptive if you need to, you feel what I'm saying, to ensure that you meet the ends, make ends to a means, meet the ends to the means, you feel what I'm saying, with the Capricorn energy. So it can even play out where it's like there may be energies, this opposition, you feel me, where it's like you may think that you're being diplomatic in thinking, the means of thinking, and so on and so forth, but in reality it's like through that you're actually putting yourself in a disadvantage, you feel what I'm saying, with Libra and Mercury opposition squaring each other. So there can be an obstacle ultimately on even bringing thought to yourself, you feel me, and thinking about you, right? And we already talked about that with just the ascendant and Libra in general, but like Mercury adds on to that energy. And now let's look at something else, because I know that you also have Mercury. Well, you do have Mercury. Okay. Wow, but then it's like you do have your ascendant trining your Libra. So with your ascendant trining your Libra, it's an indication that you have an ability to enjoy yourself, you feel me? Hold up. Wait a minute. Yeah, it's an indication that you do have an ability to enjoy yourself and indulge, because Venus deals with pleasure, it deals with the path of least resistance. So it's an indication that you have an ability to enjoy yourself, to pleasure yourself, to tap into beauty, and be beautiful in of yourself, I guess, if that makes sense. Yeah. And so, I mean, to go deeper, with your ascendant in Venus trine, it's an indication of having, it goes back to like Libra, because Venus rules Libra, having an ability because of your personality to be good in your relationships and your partnerships, you feel me? And yeah, like be good in your relationships and your partnerships. So obviously for you a great asset is partnerships and relationships and just the social life in general, you feel what I'm saying? So you're an individual who benefits from having friends, you feel what I'm saying? 100%. Yeah. And then last but not least, we have square Uranus, your ascendant squaring Uranus. So Uranus is the planet of individuality, Uranus is the planet of unique expression. So once again, it's back to a highlighting theme of like maybe like you struggling to find your channel of unique expression and kind of just fitting in with everyone else, you feel me, fitting in with your social group and your friends, you feel me, and not being like eccentric, erratical, like Uranus is, and being like F everyone else, you guys got it wrong, I'm gonna go do this, I'm gonna be an individual, so and that may be hard for you with this square between Uranus and ascendant. And in my readings, like my full deep readings, like when I really get into it, of course, it's not just the problem, but I also bring forth the solution, if what I'm saying. But what we're gonna do is in time, once I have helped you understand your different energies, then I will start to help you gain solutions, you feel what I'm saying, to help you remedy those energies, you feel what I'm saying. But yeah, that pretty much concludes the first section of your reading. Definitely let me know what you think, and I look forward to diving deeper into your chart and helping you gain a deeper awareness of your energies. Alright, namaste, peace.